Hey guys, how's it going? Daniel here. So, my daily phone, of course, is the iPhone XS, but also I carry around me the OnePlus 6 as my Android phone. So, this video, of course, is going to be pretty much inspired by one of the videos that MKBHD did a while back where he shared what's on his tech. So, what's on his iPhone, his Android smartphone, his iPad, and of course his Mac. And that's what I'm gonna do as well. Is share with you guys my setup on my iPhone, my OnePlus 6, my iPad, and the Mac as well. So let's begin. Okay, so on my iPhone XS, which is the iPhone of choice, in the first row, of course, I have the Messages app there. And then, of course, I have the App Store, the Settings app, and the Clock app. On my second row, I pretty much have the same things that you probably saw a while back. YouTube Studio, Mac Cache, which is of course my go-to app to check out the latest Apple news from different types of Apple blogs. Darkroom, of course, to edit my photos before I upload them to Instagram. And I actually use Darkroom as well to edit some YouTube thumbnails as well. So yeah, really cool. Apollo is my choice of Reddit client. I don't really go that much on Reddit, but when I do, Apollo's like the best third-party Reddit client on the iPhone. AP News, of course. So AP News to find out what's going around me, what's going around the world, to stay informed. I love reading the news, of course, so just being able to read it on the go and getting breaking news as well from notifications is probably my favorite news app. Google News, of course, another great place. But I use Google News mostly not for like breaking news or anything like that, but mostly to read technology, business type news. So yeah, it's my favorite app for that type of stuff that I'm looking for. Inception, of course, whenever I feel creating something cool with my iPhone just for fun. Inception is right there. The music app, of course. The Google Assistant. So whenever I need to use Google Assistant, I have it right there. Things. So Things, of course, is probably my go-to place to write down notes. To write down notes, list of stuff that I need to do, and reminders as well. The New York Times, of course. I like reading the news, like I said. So whenever I feel like reading something nice and something, interesting, I go to New York Times app and just start reading something. The Muse app, of course. So stay tuned for a video about that. I have a cool update video on that. Do. So the Do app, of course, I don't have any reminders right now, but this is the app I use for reminders just because it's the notification part of Do is probably the best thing you'll have because you have the option to snooze for 5 minutes, 10 minutes until you finally get that thing finally finished. Streaks app, of course. So it could be from, let's see, to food journal, meditation, push-ups, upload to Instagram. I have there make beds. So yeah, it's probably my favorite app just to remind me of what I need to get done throughout every single day of my streaks. Fusion, of course, my go-to photo editing app whenever I feel like doing some cool portrait editing stuff. So yeah, if you haven't checked out my video on Fusion, highly recommend you guys could do. Nuzzle. So Nuzzle, of course, is a kind of like a news app, but which integrates with Twitter and Facebook. So depending on your followers as well, you'll be able to see what everybody else is reading from your Twitter followers as well and what's trending. So yeah, it's just a cool app that I use a lot to read the latest news of what other people are trending as well on Twitter. Moment. So Moment, of course, I have an anamorphic lens, if I'm pronouncing that right. So stay tuned for a review video about that. I've been playing around with that camera lens, which is really, really cool. So as you can see, I'm actually using the case, the Moment case right now. Haven't switched it out. So yeah, the Moment app, of course, I have that. Pocket, of course. Whenever I find an interesting article that I can read at that moment, I'll have it there, save it for later, and read it on at a later time. Weather Canada. So this is the official Canadian government weather app that was just released a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, it's just a really simple app that's not really that cool or anything like that. It's, of course, it's supposed to give you detailed weather information, hourly, of course, 7-day, and then the radar, of course. So yeah, it's just a cool thing. And then of course you get interesting topics like National Flag Day of Canada Day 2019. So yeah, today is National Flag of Canada Day. Who knew? So yeah, so YouTube Count is my favorite app just to go out and get numbers. So as you can see, I'm still far behind from one of my favorite creators, of course, from MKBHD and Casey Neistat. But it's just a cool way to get some data, and of course you can actually get data to see how they're doing. So you can see how much subscribers they gained as well, and it's just really cool. Let's see mine. Let's see how much I have here. So, oh, we have no data because I guess I haven't used this app that much or opened it. So in the dock, I have the Castro app right there. So Castro, my go-to podcast app. I listen to a ton of podcasts. As you can see, I only have one remaining. But from the subscribing, you can see I follow some podcasts that I like to listen to. So yeah, it's just an awesome app. Twitter. So Twitter on iOS, I love using the Twitter app. It's just my favorite one to use. The default one ever since Twitter took away the notifications and other cool stuff that third-party developers were able to do to the Twitter to their Twitter clients. So yeah, that's why I use the default one just because of the notification. And I'm actually a fan of the algorithmic timeline. I find interesting tweets that I like to read about, and so yeah, it's just a cool way to use Twitter. I guess I use Twitter on that Instagram, of course. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, you can follow me, of course, on Instagram. I have all the details in the description below. So yeah, Halid. So Halid is my go-to camera app. It shoots RAW. It's just an awesome camera app that I highly recommend you guys go check out. On my second page, I have the Watch app. On the Apple folder, just default Apple apps right there. So yeah, but nothing really that drastic. Utilities. So my utilities, I have just press record, sorry, opener, Gboard, the Bible, Dropbox, Couchy, Carrot. So yeah, just the breather. So sometimes when I need to rent a location to do maybe a new video or write something, I use breather just so I can get some fresh space and just different type of space, because sometimes filming in this room it just gets a little boring or old, so I just need something different, and that's why I use breather. And yeah, that's pretty much it on that one. Lifestyle folder. My lifestyle folder, I have the Hue app, of course, to control the lights, Tile for my keys, New York Times cooking. Sometimes I need inspiration of what to cook, so I use the New York Times cooking. Helios is an awesome app, of course, to see what time is the perfect time to go out and take some photos from golden hour or at sunset. So yeah, really cool. Spotify, of course, to listen to music. The score, whenever I need to find out when I'm not watching the game, like the Raptors game, I like to just get notification of who's winning and what's going on in the game. Finances, of course, so my bank apps right there. The Google folder, so Google Photos, Google Maps, Google Home, YouTube, and Chrome. Airmail, my go-to email client on iOS. What else do we have here? Snapchat. I don't even use Snapchat that much. I probably only open it once or twice a day, and that's it. I haven't really uploaded anything to my stories on Snapchat. The Amazon folder. So on Amazon, I have, of course, my if I need to buy something, or the Alexa app if I need to contact Alexa for some stuff. My health app. So health folder. I have the health app, activities, pedometer, heart watch, center, and heart analyzer. So yeah, pretty much all heart stuff, pretty much to see the data, and my walking pedometer, which is my favorite way to track my steps. Home Run. So Home Run is mostly used for the Apple Watch, is where you can control HomeKit stuff from the Apple Watch, which is really dope. So I highly recommend go check out that app out. Nanoleaf. So nano leaf, of course, these lights back here, I control my lights like that. I actually really enjoy these lights, so it just gives the room a different mood feeling and just new life to it sometimes when I feel like just changing up the colors here. My photo app folder, I have Metafo. So Metafo is supposed to help you like take away the geolocations from the photo. And de-squeeze, I use this app sometimes when I'm shooting, when I'm not using the Moments app with the anamorphic lens. I can de-squeeze the photo so that it looks really good, and then I upload them to Instagram or share them on different other networks. And then of course my widget area. So my widget area is pretty easy. So I have the Carrot Weather one right there to see the weather. The batteries widget, of course, so the iPhone and the Apple Watch, and I don't have the smart battery case connected right now. Screen time, of course, the calendar, so to see what shows are coming up throughout the week or throughout the day, so I'm reminded about what shows I need to watch that day. Pedometer, of course, darkroom, Shazam, recipe of day, deliveries, of course, and that's pretty much it. And nozzle and the weather and the official Canadian government weather widget right there as well. So that's what's on my iPhone XS. So on my OnePlus 6 now. So what's on my OnePlus 6? So it's a really simple setup. So of course I have this wallpaper by Unusual Wallpapers. So the widget, of course, I have the Just at a Glance widget. I'm currently using the Action Launcher launcher on my OnePlus 6, so that's my go-to launcher on Android. I don't really like using the OnePlus OS launcher, so that's why I have the Action launcher in my setup here. So I have the Google Apps folder. So my Google Apps folder, I have Google, YouTube Studio, Play Music, YouTube app, Gmail, Google Maps, and the Calendar app as well. And then of course I have the Play Store right there. So yeah, really cool, easy setup. And then I have the Google Podcast app. Now this is the podcast app I currently use when I'm listening to podcasts on Android. But how do you call it? It's not really that perfect. It hasn't received that much updates, so still needs a lot of work. So I might have to be switching that app out just because it's not really meeting the needs that I wanted to meet for myself. I have the official Twitter app on Android here, so it's my go-to Twitter app, just like on iOS, like I explained. It's the only reason. I have, of course, Instagram and my dock there, and I have the default camera app. So yeah, pretty simple stuff right there. On my next page, I have the Home Agenda widget, which if you guys haven't checked it out, I highly recommend go check out the Home Agenda widget. My favorite widget on Android. Is probably one of the first things I download when I changed my phone to the OnePlus 6. I have the New York Times app. Same reason like I told you guys on the iPhone, to read the news. Feedly Labs to keep up with RSS blogs. So keep up with all the types of blogs that I enjoy to follow. And so yeah, it's just an awesome way just to stay up to date in the tech space or whatever you're into. Keep Notes, also known as Google Keep, is I don't know why they changed it to Keep Notes, but so Google Keep Notes, I mean, is a place where I just go quickly write down notes, stuff I need to be reminded about on Android, and so yeah, it's my go-to reminders app. Spotify to listen to music, Transit to know what time the public transportation buses are coming in my area, so I could go out and don't have to wait too long outside. And then of course in my app drawer, there we go. In my app drawer, I have a few apps. So I have Action Dash right there to find out about how many times I'm spending time on my phone. So if you haven't checked out that video, I highly recommend go do check out that video out. I have Agenda, of course. My go-to wallpaper, like I said, is Unusual Wallpapers on Android, just because it's some cool, dope wallpapers that I really enjoy, like this cool jet one, which actually looks really sick. So yeah. And then of course Carrot Weather, of course, Caffeinated. So yeah, just the typical Android apps that you probably also have as well. I have them here. And so yeah, pretty simple, easy setup. I'm a big fan of the minimalistic setup on Android, so that's pretty much it, my setup on Android. So now let's go to the iPad. Okay, so on my iPad setup here, it's a pretty simple iPad setup. Um, so let's start, of course, on the first row. So on the first row, of course, I have the calendar app right there, and then of course I have the App Store, the clock app, settings, and just press record whenever I need to record stuff on the iPad. And of course I have the YouTube app there to see YouTube videos, Lightroom to edit some photos before I upload them to Instagram, or I use it sometimes to edit. I sometimes use it to edit as well photos for the YouTube thumbnail as well. I have Google News. So Google News, of course, is just my favorite news app, like I told you guys, on iOS and on Android. Perfect place just to read the news as well. And then of course the current weather app there. So pretty simple, easy weather app. It looks amazing on the iPad. So it's just, you get so much more information there, and it's just really, really awesome. And then of course Macache as well, my go-to place to read Apple News. Darkroom. So Darkroom actually got an awesome update on the iPad. So there's a lot of editing, cool editing features you can do. And like I said, same reason like Lightroom, Darkroom is for Instagram and sometimes YouTube thumbnails, photos as well. And then of course the New York Times, of course, whenever I need to read some news, or whenever I'm just feeling like I want to read something, I just open the New York Times sometimes and just see what's going on in the world right there. Next, we have, of course, Pocket to save articles for a later time. Whenever I'm free, I'll open Pocket and just start reading articles that I saved maybe on Twitter or something like that. And then we have Tweetbot. So Tweetbot on the iPad is probably my favorite Twitter experience, just because it's just so awesome. So as you can see, I don't really use it that much here, but when I do, it's just really, really awesome, because you have, of course, your place of controls, I guess I'll call it, here. And then of course I have the Twitter timeline here, so as you can see. And then of course your mentions, so here are all the tweets and everything that I got mentioned about there, which is really, really cool. So it just works, this setup, and it's just an awesome way to use Twitter on the iPad. Next, we have Stream Link. So I've been playing around with sometimes learning to stream video games and all that stuff, so I'm still working on that. But for now, I'm just playing around with some apps to see how I could maybe stream from the iPad, or record, I mean, from the iPad, and then upload them to the channel for some gaming related stuff on it. And then Agenda. So Agenda is my go-to notes app, I guess you could call it, where I need to maybe write long stuff, write notes for some YouTube videos. It's just a great place, and now that they actually got a new support for it, for the keyboard, it's just really, really awesome, and it's just an awesome place to just write notes on Agenda. So in my dock here, so I have, of course, the main Twitter app. So for notification reasons, I use this app here, of course. Bear, if I need to write long form notes for YouTube videos or other type of notes, I use Bear for that, and also because of awesome keyboard support on the iPad as well. YouTube Studio, of course, you know for what. LumaFusion, of course, is my go-to video editing app for the iPad. So I do edit some videos on the iPad and then upload them to my YouTube channel. So yeah, I use LumaFusion for that. Fortnite, of course, you know why we have Fortnite. Good Notes, of course. So Good Notes is just to write notes, but also I use it mostly for reminders. I use this app right there. Agenda, of course, same thing. Carrot, because these are the latest apps I just opened. So yeah, that's pretty much it there. On my second screen, of course, we have the Apple folder. Nothing special there. TSN, Airmail, Utilities app. So Utilities app, I have pretty much the same apps that you found on my iPhone, of course. Netflix, of course. So you know, you gotta have Netflix on the iPad whenever you want to watch something and you're on the go. That's why I have Netflix on it. The Amazon folder, of course, same thing. Music folder, Spotify, Shazam right there. This app, Capsicum, it's a agenda type reminders app. So it's just an awesome app. Villium is my go-to app for wallpaper. So sometimes I want to find some interesting wallpapers for the iPad. This is the place I go for that. And then Lena Sketch. Lena Sketch, of course, is the app I use to whenever I feel like sketching something and just want to try something different. This is where I go. Lena Sketch. Lear is my go-to RSS feed reader. So if I need to find notes or just find interesting blogs, I just go here and I just start reading interesting blogs from all the blogs that I follow. So yeah, it's just an awesome, awesome app. Google Photos, of course. Rush CC. So Rush CC, of course, is Adobe's answer to trying to uh, hit the creators or to upload, to edit videos on the go really, really fast. And so I haven't really used this app that much, not like LumaFusion, but Rush CC, I'm still playing around with this app. And it's just an app that I think is not for me. But yeah, I'm much more fan of LumaFusion. Mini Metro is my go-to game on iOS on the iPad. It's just so fun to play. I'm a big fan of this game. I play it like maybe once a week, but it's just an awesome, awesome game to play. Next, oops, there we go. Oops, let's go back. There we go. Next, we have Playgrounds. So Playgrounds is Apple's place to learn how to code. It's one of my goals, of course, one day to learn to code Swift so I can create my own iPad or iPhone app. So yeah, it's just an awesome app to have and learn a new language like Swift. WordPress, of course, so I start to blog again. I'll have more about that soon. But yeah, I have the WordPress app right there for my blog right there. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for my iPad setup on iOS. Now, time for the Mac. So that's pretty much it, guys, for what's in my tech. Of course, like I told you in the beginning of the video, it is an inspiration video from MKBHD where he shared his iPhone setup, his Android setup, his iPad setup, and his Mac setup. I hope you guys enjoyed my setup as well. And then of course, if you guys tell me what apps to check out maybe in the future, if you guys recommend other apps I check out, please tell me in the description below. And that's pretty much it, guys. And as always, I will see you guys later. Peace.